Dr. Joe right here. Welcome you to this video clip. I want to talk to you about how to find your sweet spot. And by the way, this is my latest book. Life works in an amazing way. For the most part, you will hustle and hustle and hustle in a linear way, not even seeing the results. And somewhere, somehow, you experience what we call a disruptive stress or a disruptive opportunity. And boom, it's exponential. Everything just works out of nowhere. I don't know how, but I like to attribute it to what I call finding your sweet spot. There's this point in time where God, the ancestors, the angels, the universe just collude to give you a break. But you have to demonstrate your seriousness to them. So never give up. You may not see the results when you're in the hustle. Just keep putting in the time. But for you to fast track that process, you have to find your sweet spot. There are about 7 elements I talk about that you need to do. It has something to do with love. It has something to do with managing your mind and choosing the right ideas. It has something to do with you driving impact. It has something to do with you developing and managing your brand. And it has everything to do with you attracting money, embracing financial wealth principles. But for people to get into this, what I call your sweet spot, there has to be triggers. And there are 2 types of triggers. The first and the most common one, of course, is pain. Somewhere in your life, you experience this massive pain, crucibles. And those crucibles are a disruptive opportunity to drive you towards your sweet spot. And sometimes you see an opportunity. It's very rare. There are a few people who can see an opportunity and take action. For the most part, most of us, we see it dragging, doing the same thing until pain pushes us. So let me break these elements down. I want to keep this video short, so I'll do about 2 and I'll continue over the next few months to give you more about this sweet spot. Love is at the center of everything. Once you realize that love is energy, and when you give love, you receive more love, then things start to happen. You start to get into that exponential phase. I heard a story that the angels, the disciples and the lawyers were sitting around with Jesus and asked him and say, "Hey, brother Jesus, there are just so many principles and commandments out there. If you are to give us just one that we need to abide to." Jesus said, "Hey, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind." And he says, this is the greatest and foremost commandment. So you need to love your God, whoever you choose to be your God. You need to love with everything that you have. And he said the second is like the first. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And the word neighbor is used deliberately because it's your neighbors who are going to piss you off. These are people you go to work with every day. These are members of your family. These are people who are around you. These are people that come to you. These people are going to piss you. And once you decide to hate, you block that exponential ride. You're going to be dragging and dragging. So you need to forgive. Wayne Dyer puts it very well. He says there are no justified resentments. And anytime you are filled with resentment, you are turning the control of your emotional life over to others to manipulate. So when people come to you to cause you trouble, when people come to you to piss you, remain calm. Remain calm. Don't hate, regardless of what they are doing to you or what they have done to you. Mother Teresa put it well, say, if we really want to love, we must learn to forgive. So you must cleanse your heart consistently and embrace forgiveness for you to experience that magic jump. So you will see all different type of values and emotions out there. Focus. Just focus on LOVE. Just love. And when you love and you just love unconditionally, it is possible. And when you do that, you accelerate your growth. You accelerate getting into the sweet spot. That's all about love. The second one I want to talk about is the most important big weapon that you have, your mind. There's no any other animal that has the same mind as you. Everything that you have, by the way, you can find it in a horse or in a pig. But this computer called the brain is just super marvelous. So you need to nurture it. You need to take charge of it. By the way, for you to succeed and make it, you just need one good idea. Just one. And remember, we have about 20,000 to 60,000 ideas. Well, if you are lazy, you have about 20. If you are active, you have about 60,000 ideas. Most of them involuntarily. They just happen without you being aware. You might be sitting here, your mind, you might be in Bahamas and thinking about things that you have no business doing. And they tell us that 40% of things that you think about have already happened. You just regurgitating things that have happened that you have no control of. 30% of the things that you're worried about are fears that will never manifest. They will never happen. 10% are needless worries, worrying about your friends, your relatives, so forth. And then about 12% are things that are just going in your head that we don't even know about. And only 8% of your ideas, we are told, are the good ideas. So if you can learn to take control of your mind and focus on that 8%, I am telling you, there is no way that you won't succeed. And there are different mind stimulating techniques. Of course, in the workshops, I spend more time in this. But the first one is the power of meditation. Pause your brain and let it go quiet and reflect and let the dots connect inside. Tap into your subconscious mind where the magic happens. Most people are not taught how to do that. The second one is the power of visualization. You cut all these nice things that you want to have and put them everywhere you can see them. That's why most of my work, I do it on PowerPoint because I can visualize. We are all visual. We think in terms of pictures. So things that you need to manifest, you need to see them in pictures. Affirmation. I am black and beautiful. I am the best. You need to consistently remind yourself that you are the power of I am. I am. Because if you let other people affirm you, they will affirm the negative and depress you. Read. You need to read and expose your mind to new content. And the more and more new information you get, the more and more your mind triggers. So take control of your mind and let it rise above the noise. Let it rise and connect to where the angels are and listen to what they say. My father used to say to me, hey son, there's music playing in the air. Can you hear it? I will listen and never hear anything. Then he said, okay, bring me that radio. Let me switch it on for you. And when the music plays, where does the music come from? It's in the air. And this radio is an instrument that allows you to connect to the music. But if you can keep quiet, you can hear. And sometimes when the song comes to you, you start singing alone, not knowing where the song comes. That means you're connecting to some source. So I want to ask you, which is the one idea? Which is the one idea that you're working on? You probably know the movie clip that I play all the time that asks you one idea. Think about it.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing. You stick to that and everything else don't mean shit.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
Well, if you look at all these famous and people who are living life have found their one thing. And if I put them there, you can already tell what are they known for. These people identify their craft, they focus on it, they nurture it, and they become the best out of it. And once you focus on it and it happens, then you can start diversifying into other things. I don't know how many of these people you know, but probably if you know them, you connect them to one thing. Ah, that's Dr. Joe. Hey, that's you. When we put you there, what do people see? What are you associated with? What is your one thing? So focus on that question and ask, what work do you believe you are born to do? Stephen Covey says the key to creating passion in your life is to find your unique talents and your special role and purpose in the world. And once you find that, things start to happen and you accelerate, you're getting into your sweet spot, that exponential growth. The next thing I want to talk about in the next video clip is about impact. Hey, Thank you for your interest in listening to me. I hope you learned a thing of you. Let's catch up in the next video clip. But in the meantime, continue inspiring greatness.